Hello, hello. Hope everyone is having a great evening. My name is Lori Satterwhite, for those of you who don't know me. And I am coming to you live with week 1 of a series on mindset that I'm very, very excited to share to you guys tonight. I'm going to put this live, hi Mary Ellen, in the units of our team page. Mary Ellen, would you confirm that I am on the team page actually? I think I am, yeah. Okay, hi Crystal, I think I am. Just want to make sure. So I am going to put this in the unit. So if you have team members who would like to watch this later, you can tag them on it. And this is going to be somewhat interactive. But I am working from the book by Mandino, The Greatest Salesman in the World. I realized I forgot to turn my camera around. You don't have to have read anything before tonight. Hi Cindy, hi Allison. We are going to be talking about scroll number 1. The book itself, The Greatest Salesman in the World, you know, I thought, okay, another sales book. It's not really about sales. It's really about reprogramming your mind to have the most success in life. So I titled this live, Who Wants to Change and Improve Some of Your Habits? I know I do, and that's always something that each of us can improve on. So I'm going to do this once a week for the next 10 weeks, and I hope you get some value from it. I have some notes printed out, so I may be referring to them. So, okay. So the introduction to this book, like I said, the scrolls are really about reprogramming your mind. We all have a tape, sorry, I'm dating myself. We have a recording that's playing in our heads at all times. That's in our subconscious mind. And often this is formed when we're young children to protect us from some type of threat or perceived threat. You know, it could have been real abuse, sadly. A lot of people go through that, or something tragic that happens, a loss, or it could have been something that was perceived as a threat, like maybe your older brother, you know, teased you and you found that threatening, and so your subconscious mind will form a story about that often can turn into a lie that we hold on to and we make bigger in our own head. Our subconscious, unless reprogrammed, will really keep working throughout our entire lives to keep us safe. So anytime, let's say you had a fear of failing, each time you're wanting to step out in a new area in your life, you're going to have that little whisper, that little like subconscious trigger that keeps you from taking action. So this is really critical work, not just for our businesses here, but for life in general. And it's work that it takes time. I want to say that first. It's not going to happen all at once, even in these 10 weeks. And this is a book you could go through for the rest of your life. Now that being said, I just wanted to give a little caveat. So I believe Mandino is a Christian who wrote this book. And I know we have people from all different backgrounds, walks of life, belief systems. The scrolls, upon study, to me, I believe fit with any belief system, religion, spirituality, or paradigm. So you can, what I suggest doing, I read these scrolls daily, and I'll explain how that works later, but I incorporate it with my own faith practice first. So that's how I would encourage each of you to do that. Okay, so we're talking about reforming and reprogramming our subconscious. Because if we don't, when we focus on the lies and the negative thoughts that are stored in our head for many, many years, those can become limiting thoughts that shape our life in a way that we don't want, whether the thoughts are good, bad, or ugly. So the scrolls, the point of this book is to work 1 week at a time to reshape your mind. And the bottom line is, when you work on that, you're going to be attracting more of what you want in your life. I'd love to hear in the comments below and make this interactive. What is one thing you'd love to attract more of in your own life? And I think I have the comments turned on. Oh, yeah, Cindy says hi. Hi, Cindy. So participation in this is going to be in 3 ways. So number 1, come watch the weekly trainings, either live or on recording here in this group once a week. I'll try to let you know in advance when they're going to be. Number 2, commit to reading that week's scroll each week 3 times a day. Hi, Sherry. And if you don't have a copy of the book, you can order it pretty cheaply on Amazon. And you can also Google, there are free copies of just the scroll portion. It doesn't have the rest of the story. There's a story that goes along with it, but you can print out the scrolls for free if you Google that and find that if you don't want to purchase a book, although I highly recommend it because I write all over mine. So that's number 2. And number 3, if you are feeling courageous and brave, we're a team here, commit to sharing each week in the comments of the live your biggest takeaway as you're doing this or your biggest aha moment. Hi, Allie. Hi, Sherry. So we can learn from each other, okay? Because everyone's on a journey, and I would love to hear what you guys think. Participation to the best of your ability is going to equal advancement for you in your life and in your business. I truly do believe that. A lot of what I'm teaching you today is based on the work I did with my mentor and business coach, Danelle Delgado, if you guys follow her. And so she has allowed me to share some of this with you. Okay, I'm going to start by reading scroll 1. This is the longest one, so I apologize. It's about probably 6 minutes for me to read it, and then we'll break it down together. So I may have to put my glasses on. Okay, sorry, you're probably going to get a glare. All right, this is the scroll marked 1 by Mandino. Today I begin a new life. Today I shed my old skin, which hath too long suffered the bruises of failure and the wounds of mediocrity. Today I am born anew, and my birthplace is a vineyard where there is fruit for all. Today I will pluck grapes of wisdom from the tallest and fullest vines in the vineyard, for these were planted by the wisest of my profession, who have come before me, generation upon generation. Today I will savor the taste of grapes from these vines, and verily I will swallow the seed of success buried in each, and new life will sprout within me. The career I have chosen is laden with opportunity, yet it is fraught with heartbreak and despair. And the bodies of those who have failed, were they piled one atop another, would cast a shadow down upon all the pyramids of the earth. Yet I will not fail as the others, for in my hands I now hold the charts which will guide me through perilous waters to shores which only yesterday seemed but a dream. Failure no longer will be my payment for struggle. Just as nature made no provision for my body to tolerate pain, neither has it made any provision for my life to suffer failure. Failure, like pain, is alien to my life. In the past, I accepted it as I accepted pain. Now I reject it, and I am prepared for wisdom and principles which will guide me out of the shadows into the sunlight of wealth, position, and happiness far beyond my most extravagant dreams, until even the golden apples in the garden of Hesperides will seem no more than my just reward. Time teaches all things to him who lives forever, but I have not the luxury of eternity. Yet within my allotted time I must practice the art of patience, for nature acts never in haste. To create the olive, king of all trees, 100 years is required. An onion plant is old in just 9 weeks. I have lived as an onion plant. It has not pleased me. Now I wouldst become the greatest of olive trees, and in truth the greatest of salesmen. And how will this be accomplished? For I have neither the knowledge nor the experience to achieve greatness, and already I have stumbled in ignorance and fallen into pools of self-pity. The answer is simple. I will commence my journey unencumbered with either the weight of unnecessary knowledge or the handicap of meaningless experience. Nature already has supplied me with knowledge, an instinct far greater than any beast in the forest, and the value of experience is overrated, usually by old men who nod wisely and speak stupidly. I like that part. In truth, experience teaches thoroughly, yet her course of instruction devours men's years, so the value of her lessons diminishes with the time necessary to acquire her special wisdom. The end finds it wasted on dead men. Furthermore, experience is comparable to fashion. An action that proved successful today will be unworkable and impractical tomorrow. Only principles endure, and these I now possess, for the laws that will lead me to greatness are contained in the words of these scrolls. What they will teach me is more to prevent failure than to gain success. For what is success other than a state of mind? Which two among 1,000 wise men will define success in the same words? Yet failure is always described but one way. Failure is man's inability to reach his goals in life, whatever they may be. In truth, the only difference between those who have failed and those who have succeeded lies in the difference of their habits. Good habits are the key to all success. Bad habits are the unlocked door to failure. Thus, the first law I will obey, which precedeth all others, is, I will form good habits and become their slave. This is the key of scroll number 1. As a child, I was slave to my impulses. Now I am slave to my habits, as are all grown men and women. I have surrendered my free will to the years of accumulated habits, and the past deeds of my life have already marked out a path which threatens to imprison my future. My actions are ruled by appetite, passion, prejudice, greed, love, fear, environment, habit, and the worst of these tyrants is habit. Therefore, if I must be a slave to habit, let me be a slave to good habits. My bad habits must be destroyed and new furrows prepared for good seed. I will form good habits and become their slave. And how will I accomplish this difficult feat? Through these scrolls it will be done. For each scroll contains a principle which will drive a bad habit from my life and replace it with one which will bring me closer to success. For it is another of nature's laws that only a habit can subdue another habit. So in order for these written words to perform their chosen task, I must discipline myself with the first of my new habits, which is as follows. I will read each scroll for 30 days in this prescribed manner before I proceed to the next scroll. I am going to alter this slightly for our group, and we're going to do 7 days on each scroll, but I highly encourage you to go back when we're complete with these 10 weeks and do 30 days on each as a side note. First, I will read the words in silence when I arise. Then I will read the words in silence after I have partaken of my midday meal. Last, I will read the words again just before I retire at day's end. And most important on this occasion, I will read the words aloud. On the next day, I will repeat this procedure, and I will continue in like manner for 30 days. Then I will turn to the next scroll and repeat this procedure for another 30 days. I will continue in this manner until I have lived with each scroll for 30 days and my reading has become habit. And what will be accomplished with this habit? Herein lies the hidden secret of all man's accomplishments. As I repeat the words daily, they will soon become a part of my active mind, but more important, they will also seep into my other mind, that mysterious source which never sleeps, which creates my dreams and often makes me act in ways I do not comprehend. He's talking about the subconscious. As the words of these scrolls are consumed by my mysterious mind, I will begin to awake each morning with a vitality I have never known before. My vigor will increase. My enthusiasm will rise. My desire to meet the world will overcome every fear I once knew at sunrise, and I will be happier than I ever believed it possible to be in this world of strife and sorrow. Eventually, I will find myself reacting to all situations which confront me as I was commanded in the scrolls to react. And soon these actions and reactions will become easy to perform, for any act with practice becomes easy. Thus, a new and good habit is born, for when an act becomes easy through constant repetition, it becomes a pleasure to perform, and if it is a pleasure to perform, it is in man's nature to perform it often. When I perform it often, it becomes a habit, and I will become a slave. and since it is a good habit, this is my will. Today, I begin a new life. I'd love you to list that below if you're going to join me in this. Today, I begin a new life. And I will make a solemn oath to myself that nothing will retard my new life's growth. I will lose not a day from these readings, for that day cannot be retrieved, nor can I substitute another for it. I must not, I will not break this habit of daily reading from these scrolls. And in truth, the few moments spent every day on this new habit are but a small price to pay for the happiness and success that will be mine. As I read and reread the words in the scrolls to follow, never will I allow the brevity of each scroll, nor the simplicity of its words, to cause me to treat the scroll's message lightly. Thousands of grapes are pressed to fill one jar with wine, and the grape skin and pulp are tossed to the birds. So it is with these grapes of wisdom from the ages. Much has been filtered and tossed to the wind. Only the pure truth lies distilled in the words to come. I will drink as instructed and spill not a drop, and the seed of success I will swallow. Today my old skin has become as dust. I will walk tall among men, and they will know me not, for today I am a new man with a new life. That is the scroll marked 1. What'd you guys think about that? So the key points from this scroll, and I'd love to see what you glean from these this week as you're reading scroll 1, are today is a new day and the start of a new life for me and for you if you choose it. I will leave failure far behind. Thank you, Joe, for that in the comments. Hey, Amanda, yes, let's do this together and renew our commitment. Okay, good habits are the key to all success. The difference between success and failure lies in the difference of our habits. That's why you see leaders in this group suggesting systems for us to follow for our businesses that are simple and duplicatable that we take daily action on, because those are business habits. But this applies to everything in life. I will commit to becoming a slave to good habits and eliminate all the bad habits that lead to failure. Because this was also stated, only a new habit can replace a bad one. So I will commit to replacing any bad habits with good habits. Experience is like fashion. I like that part because yesterday's fashion is out of style. So what worked for another yesterday may not work for me today. Today I shed my old skin, which hath too long suffered the bruises of failure and the wounds of mediocrity. So I know you can relate. I'm going to say I've fallen short every single day of my life. We've all come up short before, whether it's in a form of a rejection letter at a job interview or when working out. I remember once getting a barbell stuck on my chest, attempting to start a new set and just feeling defeated in that moment. Perhaps you've been involved in another network marketing company before, or even now, maybe for the first month of this business, you felt like a failure because you had 0 sales. We have all been there, but the hope here is we can all start today with new habits and new systems, and that is what is being provided through the mentorship in this team I'm so thankful for. But yeah, all 3 of those forms of failure that I noted down are very familiar to me, but this I know, that I cannot and you cannot ever attain success until we choose to place those past failures far behind us. And that's in reprogramming our mind. So I want you to just see your past failures as a report card, as a moment in time that is finished. And so it's a good barometer to see where we need to adapt and pivot and where we need to implement a new habit or a system in order to succeed. After we've evaluated that failure from this day, seen the grade maybe that we've gotten or given ourselves, it is time to let it go and move on. The only difference between those who have succeeded and failed are their habits. So I'm going to ask you a few hard questions today, and if you're feeling brave, I'd love for you to share in the comments below. What habits define you currently? Are there any limiting habits that you're aware of? Because that's where we need to start, is being real and taking responsibility for those. What habits do you have that might be stealing your future, whether it be a victim mentality, staying in fear, doubting that you're enough? How about playing small and staying in your comfort zone? I mean, maybe you don't have a huge limiting story of horrific things, and you're living a pretty cush life, and you're just staying put because it's easy, but you're not happy. What about comparison? I'm going to share, that was probably my biggest one, was the comparison and living in my comfort zone, because I am a blessed person with a great life. But start by taking personal responsibility. So the key phrase from this week is, good habits are the key to success. I will form new habits and become a slave to them. The more you read these, it's going to feel silly at first, but they are going to get in your brain to where now I can almost recite these. I just finished doing these the last 10 weeks with my mentor. And I hope that you will start to embrace this process and then go through it again. And I'll do it again next time if you guys want. I will say this. Failure-based habits are things we do need to really look at. I know it's tough. Inconsistency in our business is a habit of failure. Self-doubt, fear of stepping up. I mean, this is scary to come live. I haven't done it in a while. Fear of judgment of others on the team. Being ruled by your emotions. I had a leader I respect mention that to me, that maybe I was doing that a little too much, and that was going to hold me back from the top levels of success that I desire. And I had to be real with myself. How and when was I reacting instead of staying in action and looking at what other people were doing and not taking action? What is Joe saying here? Yes, you've started new habits in February with how you're tracking your list and invites and going to more telephone calls when possible versus just sending messages. And that's stepping out of your comfort zone. It's easier to just send a Facebook message. And I love that you are helping me to break out of that as well, Joe, and get on the phone with people and speak human and getting us back to the basics. That is the crux of what Tina and Joe and the Lifestyle Lab leaders are doing this month in March. So I just kind of wanted to talk about the mind part that goes behind that. So we talked about some of the failure-based habits. What about some of the habits of someone who's a millionaire or successful? Millionaire habits can include they're consistent. They have confidence. They have high emotional intelligence. What does that mean? They're not controlled and reacting. They're not controlled by their emotions or reacting to things in their life as much. So let's work this week on number 1, forming good habits and reprogramming our subconscious with this scroll. So this is what I suggest. Yes, they have a higher level of communication, which is all part of that emotional intelligence. So true, Joe. Okay, some of the rest of y'all, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Okay, I suggest going through you don't have to take too long, but maybe tonight, instead of turning on the TV, make a good habits list of the things you do like in your life and a bad habits list. And then something that my mentor had me do was pick out the most debilitating habit that is stealing from my future. And I'm going to authentically share. And I'd love for you guys to do that if you're feeling brave. I know we don't all know each other, but if you want to see that growth happen in your life and business, we have to get real. So my biggest habit that was stealing my future was the comparison game. I thought I had conquered it several times, and then the last few weeks it was creeping back as we've had some of these contests. And just looking at these amazing people and what they were doing and thinking, well, gosh, I'm not enough. And what does that type of thought do to us? Well, it causes fear. It triggers that fear button that keeps us frozen. It causes us to look inward and be focused selfishly on us rather than helping to serve everyone that we can give this opportunity to. And it focuses on scarcity and lack. And really, if that is left unchecked in our teams, it's going to divide us disillusion us, and destroy us. Yes, comparison is the thief of joy. I think a wise man named Joe told me that the other day, and you were part of me recognizing I was going back to that space. The only true antidote that I see to this, to the comparison game, and that may not be your trigger, but it was for me, is contentment. And where does contentment start? And this is another thing we're going to be doing along with these scrolls. It begins with a grateful heart. I'm so grateful for Joe and Tina, for their mentorship, for speaking truth into me, even when it's hard, because they want me to succeed, and I want that for you. Gratitude helps turn our focus to abundance, to helping others, to doing good, which is why we got into this business. I mean, to help people with more... with products that can help improve their wellness and their body balance, and to give them financial freedom and true freedom in life, to not have to be enslaved by a job that they hate and a lifestyle that they don't enjoy, to have more freedom with time and their families. So a daily gratitude practice for me in a journal is huge, but I'd love for you guys to consider doing that along with this, because to me that's the way to get past some of these limiting beliefs. Last points. I can't do this for you, just like Joe couldn't do this journey for me. And I don't have it all figured out. It's a daily work in progress. I am a daily work in progress. So are each of you. But change is up to you. That is one thing you can control. And if you want your success in life and business, I truly believe, kind of like Joe has created spreadsheets and tools and videos and systems. Our corporate office has done that. We need the same in our thought life. These scrolls, they're not magic, but it's a simple, repetitive thing you can choose to do 3 times a day to reprogram your brain, because your life needs to have order and not chaos. It needs to make sense and be logical. And this is all based on logic and universal values that are found in every religion in this world. So your life needs to make sense. We need a system to do that. Number 3, what is broken in you right now that you're holding on to is also going to be broken in your business. And I don't say that to scare you, but you must address this, or you're going to have the same fears come out when you interact with people, when you recruit. Hey Yana, nice to see you on here. When you are working with your teams, when you're leading. So it's just something that if you can deal with it now, you're going to have much more success and not do things the hard way. Number 4, what is allowed will continue, whether that's good or bad. So what we focus our mind and actions on becomes what our life path is. So we're going to continue on that path. So choose wisely. And number 5, what you want in your deepest desires and dreams, what is on your vision board, what those secret desires of your heart are waiting for you. And it's based on what you're willing to overcome starting today. So think on this. I'm really super excited to be on this journey with you guys. And just thank you for letting me come live and share. This has probably been, outside of, for me, the Bible, the most life-changing book that I've ever read on mindset. And I've read a lot. I'm kind of a book junkie. So if you're jumping into our 30-day group here on resetting your business, consider adding this as a daily practice and leaving some comments here as well. I'll come live next week, and I can't wait to see what you guys think and what habits you're tackling. So proud of you, and have a great rest of your evening. Bye guys.